What's up, guys? Sentinel Sports Central to be going over a college football game preview. This one's going to be over Florida and LSU. This is probably arguably your best game of week number 7. We've got a very active week of college football coming up. I mean, obviously, this is probably one of your bigger ones with it being in the SEC and both of these teams being top 7. Florida coming off of a huge win there against Auburn last week. That was a crazy game against Auburn. I thought Auburn was going to win that one. I just thought with Bo Nix, I mean, he's been looking great, but of course with him being a young quarterback and stuff, that could have made an impact on how he played there against Florida. But Florida did get it done, 23-14. Great game there for the Gators. Perrine at running back, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he had 14 attempts for 130 yards and 1 touchdown. And obviously, those are some very impressive stats there by him. And typically out of a running back, especially in college, it's tough to get above 100 yards. And even if you do get above 100 yards, that's pretty impressive. And so for him to get 130, that is very impressive performance by him. Joe Burrow by LSU, he is their quarterback. He was 27th for 38 last week against Utah State. 344 yards, 5 touchdowns. So that was a very impressive game there by Joe Burrow as well. And of course, going into this season, I thought Joe Burrow would definitely be like one of the biggest impact players there of the SEC, and he has been for sure so far. LSU got it done against Utah State last week, 42-6. Really, LSU showed very few weak spots in that game, very dominant on offense. I mean, Utah State is no blowover team, of course. I mean, I thought Utah State could keep it close. I thought, honestly, that they could keep that game close, but in the end, LSU is too good of a team. They blew Utah State out by a good 36. Looking at this now, October 12th is when this game is going to be on. This Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Spread currently says LSU by 13. And of course, these are just opening spreads. This is being recorded here on Sunday, so this will likely change as we get through the next few days. But the FBI is also saying LSU 76%. And Vegas is actually saying Florida in this one. They're saying 39-36. It's going to be a high-scoring one. But they're giving it to Florida right now. And by the way, that just so you know, that is by oddsshark.com. So you can go check that out as that is going to change over the next few days. But yeah, of course, I mean, 39-36 Florida. That's kind of a crazy prediction there. And usually you'd see Vegas kind of tend to agree with the FPI, but not really here today. Here's your stat comparison for this one, and since both of these teams have an uneven amount of games that they've played, we're going to be doing this sort of stat comparison here. Florida's had 32.3 points per game. They've allowed 9.5, 284 pass yards per game, 139 rush yards per game, and then 276 yards allowed. LSU's got 54 points per game, then they got 19 points allowed, 416 pass yards per game, and then 155 rush yards. And so obviously on this LSU offense has been extremely efficient, and they've done a very, very good job this season so far. I mean, 54 points per game. That is an average of their past 5 games. That is insane. That is an insane number. Tell me how many times you'll see, even out of any Power 5 conference team, at the beginning of the season to have a 54.6 points per game average. That is just crazy. Once again, 416 pass yards, 155 rush yards, and then they've only allowed 287 rush yards. So, I mean, this LSU team is for real. Florida is 6-0 coming into this game. LSU is 5-0. And here's just your past 5 games for both of these teams. And obviously, I mean, we do not see any losses in here from the past 5 weeks. Florida once again played Auburn last week, won at 24-13. And they played Towson the week before, shut them out 38-zip, beat Tennessee 34-3, beat Kentucky on the road 29-21, and shut out UT Martin at home 45-zip. LSU, on the other hand, they beat Utah State once again 42-6, beat Vanderbilt on the road 66-38, the very high-scoring one there. They beat Northwestern State 65-14. Beat Texas on the road, signature win there, 45-38. Then beat Georgia Southern on August 31st, 55-3. And here's a few key points going into this one. How important is this game for both teams? I mean, of course, with it being in the SEC, both teams are in different divisions. That's something to note there. Florida doesn't really have to deal with LSU in their division. They have to deal with Georgia and all of them. But the thing is, this is still a very important game in the SEC, I think. For one, being able to get respect and add a reasonable, or actually not even a significant win to your resume coming into the rest of the season. And also, two, to continue the momentum going on to the rest of the year. Because, of course, we're already about halfway through with this season. This is a very, very important game for both teams, considering, they both have got good chances to make it to the SEC championship, especially Florida. After that win last week against Auburn there, man, the sky's the limit for Florida. I thought Florida would be limited after their main quarterback, went out. I think, Felipe Franks in the first few weeks. And so, the way that they've been able to handle that is very, very impressive. But can Florida pull off another huge win 2 weeks in a row? That's going to be a tough question here, I think. Especially with being on the road in Death Valley, that's something you gotta take that into consideration coming into this game. LSU has an outstanding 54 points per game. We've gone over that. That is just crazy. But how would both teams win? If Florida can go into Death Valley, I think, honestly, the only way Florida's going to win this one is if they can have a really, really good first half, get up by at least a touchdown or two, and have a significant lead coming into that second half and taking on that lead for the rest of the game. The thing is, though, it's going to be tough to pull off a win here at night in Death Valley, and in an atmosphere like this is going to be. You have to have like a perfect game against LSU. You can't really have any turnovers. If you have a turnover, even like one or two, that could make or break this game for Florida for sure. For LSU, if you can do the exact opposite, if you can get up early on Florida, shut them out early, possibly force turnovers, then honestly this game should be a walk in the park for you. For LSU's got all the potential in the world, I think, to win this game here. And so that's why this is what my prediction is here for this one. 24-17 is what your halftime score is going to be. I think we're going to see more of a high-scoring one here. I think, of course, both offenses are looking great right now, and both defenses are looking great as well. But the thing is, though, I think Florida, coming off that game against Auburn, I think they gave it all they had last week. Can they give all they had, or all they have 2 weeks in a row, is the question that you're going to have to ask. And for Florida, Florida's a great team. Do not get me wrong. But coming off a win against Auburn and having to face LSU the very next week, a tougher team on the road at night, that's just something you got to realize there. And I did go kind of hard there on Florida last week. I actually expected Auburn to win that one, and I'm gonna have to go against Florida once again here this week. But this one, I'm much more confident in this one here. LSU, I think they're going to win this one 38-27 is going to be your final score. I think we see a slower second half than the first half, but it is still going to be a pretty high-scoring one here. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on this game in the comments below. If you think Florida can pull off an upset, be sure to let me know your guys' thoughts on that. If you've got any college football preview requests, be sure to let them down in the comments below, and I'll possibly do one or two of your games if you'd like to. Once again, thank you guys all for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to. I would really, really appreciate it. Every one of you guys that do that, it is very appreciated by all of us here. Thank you guys once again all for watching, and stay tuned for more from All Sports Central.